And so welcome everybody. And again, the International Association of Counselors and Therapists and Hypnosis Education Association, which is a Florida-based group, international group, of course, is international, have chapters, and we are considered that. So anybody who's a hypnotherapist or a hypnotist can get 1 hour of CEUs for watching this video. And we do these the third Wednesday of every month at from same time, 7:30 Eastern US time. And a different topic every month. Quickly, announcements about the chapters. The big annual Hypno Expo for 2021 is going to come up May 21st through 23rd. And that's a combination expo of the International Association of Counselors and Therapists and the International Medical and Dental Hypnotherapy Association. And the pre-conference, I will be doing again this year, a pre-conference on the 19th and 20th of May, a 2-day medical hypnotherapy specialty training, which anybody who wants to continue on and become certified, it's a standalone training, you get a certificate for, but if you want to get certified, then I'll be doing an online continuance of that afterwards for certification through the Medical and Dental Hypnotherapy Association. So just so you know about those, they're a lot of fun. You don't have to be a member, but it's less expensive. It is going to be a totally virtual conference. And again, May 19th and 20th is the medical hypnotherapy specialty. And then the actual conference is the 21st through the 23rd. And that website is imdha.com. or IACT.org. IACT is International Association of Counselors and Therapists. So they will be doing video interviews with people who are doing the full day or the 2-day, like I am, presentations from March 22nd through April 5th. There are going to be, I think it's like once a week or maybe more than that. Michael Watson will be doing video interviews on Zoom with the presenters, and they're very educational. Last year, I learned a lot just watching them talking about what they were going to be presenting. So it was really interesting. And those are free. So you can go to their website and see when they're going to be presenting those. My interview with, along with Dr. Eric Rosen, who presents with me, is going to be on April 5th for the medical hypnotherapy. And again, they're very educational, even in and of themselves, even if you don't plan to go to the conference, which hopefully you will. So the Hypnosis Education Association is going to be, this is one there's a caveat here because we're planning to do it live. The caveat is we may not be able to do it live in Hillsmore, Florida. And that's going to be April 24th. It's a 1-day conference. We do 2 a year. And this one is a 1-day, so it might be virtual. Their website is heahypnosis.com, and we're doing more things with the Hypnosis Education Association online. So a lot of cool stuff, and I always post on their website. I always post these free webinars and some other cool things. A lot of really neat people belong to that, and the conferences are just amazingly inexpensive and amazingly educational. It's the best deal in town, I think. Or in the universe. Let's make it bigger, make it bigger. So Jan knows, she's been a part of it for many, many years. So that's all the business stuff. Let's get that out of the way because we got to get on with some fun stuff. The power of positive attraction. My goodness, there's a lot of stuff out there about the power of attraction. You know, we got movies out there that are made about it now. What the Bleep? Has anyone seen What the Bleep? That's a really cool movie. If you haven't seen it, it features a whole lot of physicists, scientific type people explaining how this stuff works. So this is not woo-woo anymore. I never did think it was because I used to do it and I knew it worked. So did I care if somebody could prove it? In the scientific world, no, but it's nice to know that they can now. We get these great brain scans, and now we know about neuroplasticity, and we know about mirror neurons and all these things that are now really a part of how all of this stuff is being corroborated, that it is science, it is energy, it is the way that our brain and our mind and energy works. So I'm going to start off, and at the end, I'll ask you all to open up your mics again so that we can have a discussion about all of this. So I love doing research on all these things. On this class because it gives me I'm a perpetual student. I've been in the field for 29 years now, as of this month, actually 29 years officially. So I always learn new things when I'm doing research for all of this. And some of the things I'm going to pass on to you here today. And later I'm going to show a very brief little video that I think will kind of succinctly bring some of these concepts together in a little bit. So I'm going to start off with a guy named Robert Zink, Z-I-N-K. And again, I always, since it's a short webinar, I'm going to throw some stuff out at you. And if you're interested in pursuing some of these things more than the research I did, will maybe save you some time to go to some good places to find stuff. And Robert Zink in 2016, he talked about positive thinking raises your vibration. And this is something, again, that they can measure with instruments. And it allows you to sync with your desires. Now, I like to exchange the word, since I'm a hypnotherapist and a neurolinguistic programming person, I like to change the word desires even and make it more succinct for the unconscious mind to understand, to make it the word intention, which they also use a lot in, if you go online, the power of attraction and all that, they're going to use that word intention as well. So it raises your vibration, lets you be in sync with your intentions, and your positive beliefs and thoughts are one of the most powerful keys to the law of attraction. Again, there's a lot of good information out there now scientifically. And positive thoughts, they found now that they help people to manifest. I used to do a class once a week, I think it was once a week, called Manifesting Abundance, and making clear that abundance doesn't just mean money. You know, some people thought that was just about money. No. Money is a nice side effect of being in sync with your intentions. It's actually, like I said, a nice bonus, but it's about being in a place inside of yourself where you project out the type of energy that draws to you, like this title of this talk, positive people, positive experiences, positive events, all of that. Even better health and those things they find now, better relationships. So abundance means abundant in every area of your life. And the key to the law of attraction is to maintain a high positive vibration. Now, again, we know from brain scan instruments, which we have now, that when you're thinking a positive thought, you're literally, your entire organism becomes stronger. Your immune system becomes stronger. This is fact now. Medicine and science shows it. When you're thinking a negative thought, you literally become weaker. So the law of attraction, obviously we want to attract positive things, I'm guessing, and we may unintentionally or unknowingly be attracting negative things or negative experiences or negative people into our life. And the nice thing that some of this is going to show you as I go on is that those are trained in, and even down to at the cellular level, it's transferred through genetics. Sometimes some of these things, and that we can actually change them. That's the good news. I'm a certified medical hypnotherapist. And again, I teach medical hypnotherapy now. I have a program that was approved a few years ago that I teach every year at the conference now. And the medical side of this is just profound to show how you can attract wonderful abundance in good health as well. So some of the keys from one of the websites I saw, it had some nice little succinct ideas about that go right along with what we teach in neurolinguistics and hypnosis. The first thing is to focus on your desires. Those of us that are in hypnotherapy or hypnosis, we know that it starts with focus. Hypnosis is all about focus. The concept of what you focus on amplifies. We use this with pain relief, right? If you're focused on the pain, it amplifies. If you focus on comfort, guess what? That amplifies. That's what your mind does, and your body absolutely follows your thoughts. So if you're focusing on wants, again, that word want implies something you don't have. It implies lack. So a better word, the neurolinguistic programming part of me, the NLP teaches us how to talk efficiently to our unconscious mind to help it to be in sync, in line with our conscious intentions that we decide on, so that we can attract to us, amplify, be more aware and of those things that we actually want to have in our life. Because if we're not aware of it, it might just bypass us while we're focused on something else, and we won't even have known that it was available to us with our limited conscious mind. So Hopefully this is making sense because I'm moving pretty quickly though. One of the things they say a lot of, okay. And like I said, the main thing with hypnosis, it's the starting point for all hypnosis, it's focusing. And one of the keys they say is to write down either in a journal or just to write down the things that you intend to manifest, the things you want to attract, the positive things, and being as clear as you can be. The more clear your language and the more specific you are, the better your unconscious mind will begin to, I think of it like radar goes up. And when it gets the message very clearly, it goes, okay, I'm going to scan behind the scenes while Patty's busy about her day doing other stuff. I'm going to always be scanning what's happening because it can be aware of so many more bits of information than the conscious mind can while I'm busy. And it's going to alert me to those things that match up to what I told it I want to attract. So another point on the power of attraction is to turn your problems into challenges. Now, those of us that are hypnotists and NLP practitioners, we know reframing is a big part of it, right? Reframing your language, reframing how you present ideas into your consciousness, into your thought processes, can either empower you or can disempower you. So reframing a problem, I trained myself to do this many, many years ago when I first started, probably 29 years ago, I started doing this, or before, because I was studying it before then for 20 years. And I learned that when you say problem to your unconscious mind, it creates a little bit of stress, and it's more of a negative. It inhibits progress, forward progress. When you say challenge, the unconscious implication is we got to find a way to deal with it. It actually makes you want to go into action. And of course, action gets the energy going, and it's going to allow you to be more aware and to find what are the possibilities of how I can get through this challenge, get around this challenge, deal with this challenge. And you actually get stronger and learn things as you're moving through the challenge. And there's some other elements of it that'll come up in a minute here. Challenge your thoughts is another point. The mind is a creative machine. Under the guidance of creative visualization, they find that your mind is powerful and it's a positive tool that you can use. If you leave it unguarded, if you aren't challenging your thoughts and being aware of them, then fears and doubts and scenarios that are already programmed in, possibly that you aren't even aware are there, are going to start surfacing. And they're going to start running the emotional part. And then that's going to become your minute by minute way of feeling and being. So another point is to focus on an action. Every turn in the road, there's an action that can be taken. There's choices. I always say hypnosis is about having more choices. And that's always a good thing. And then, like I said, being aware of what those possibilities are in the realm of that moment by moment. If you're in the middle of a challenge, that you can actually be aware of what your choices are. What can I do with this? If you're focused on what you can't do with it, that creates stress and maybe panic and all those things. And it shuts down that channel, what I call the channel to the creative unconscious. And if you look at it, like I said, taking action and what are the possibilities here, and this is a challenge, all of a sudden your energy opens up and you can start to be aware of what are the possibilities, where do I have my power here, what can I do with this? Not what can't I do, but what can I do? So correct your actions as you go. You know, sometimes people get so self-critical as they're doing things, they become stuck. So when you take action, your mind automatically shifts into a positive state, and then your vibration rises. Again, this thing about vibration, I love that idea. And you manifest more of what you desire. Or, like I said, I like the word intend. What your intention is gets more powerful. Now, from NLP, one of the NLP presuppositions is there is no failure. There's only feedback. It's a powerful presuppositions of NLP are things that you hold in consciousness. You make them part of how you see the world. And if you can really turn that one into a habit, that you approach every event that happens to you in every moment from there's no failure, only feedback. That means if you did something, you took action and it wasn't the result you wanted, you don't start beating yourself up. You immediately say, okay, what did I learn from that? So I don't do that again. And what can I learn that can allow me to find another possibility of the action to take now? So you just keep correcting course. It's much more empowering, raises your vibration again, and all of that good stuff. So another point that is out there in the world of the power of attraction universe, which there's lots of websites, is to develop an attitude of gratitude. What a surprise, right? A simple sentence. Gratitude is greatly underrated. As a matter of fact, a while back, I did a webinar called The Science of the Power of Gratitude. Again, it allows me, when I do these presentations like this, it's out on YouTube now. You can find it under my name, Patricia Scott, and maybe Science of the Power of Gratitude. Just type that in, and you'll find the webinar like this that I did. And it gave me the opportunity to look, and I could not believe how much science there is about gratitude. It was so cool researching for that little webinar. So you might find that interesting in the future. So again, it's very underrated, but in that simpleness is a deep, profound truth. You can't feel negative when you're thinking about all the things you're grateful for. You can only focus on one thing at a time. And if you fill your thoughts with these types of things, there won't be room for anything that might have already been programmed in that is disempowering or that's negative to get in there. You just fill the space, then it can't enter. And if you keep filling it, then the brain starts to create neural pathways, again, the science behind it, so that it becomes the new norm. This is now the way that I move through the world. You train it in, and now you don't have to think about it anymore. You can be busy about your day, and everything is colored, if you will, by those presuppositions, by those principles, by that state. You go through your day in that state automatically. It's worth taking the time to train these things in. If you have anything that's already trained in or that was given to you or came down from your parents or whatever, it's nice to know you can change any of those things. So another point that's out there for attracting positive things is to give up the resistance. And that kind of makes sense. In hypnotherapy, we talk again, the words that the unconscious hears are so important. Sometimes you try too hard to do something. There's a principle called, what you resist persists. Some of you have heard that phrase. And when you try something, it implies to the unconscious mind, first of all, it's going to take effort. And second of all, the possibility of failure. We don't want to use that word try any more than absolutely necessary. And sometimes I actually pause myself before I'll say the word, because in some situations, it's the only word that seems to fit. But I'm always challenging myself to find a better word that empowers me. So if you try too hard, you end up with that resistance coming in and you get stuck, or you even fall back farther than you were. So, and your vibration starts to sink, they say, in these people that measure this stuff. Okay. So another point, be in the now. Now that's pretty popular now. We have mindfulness in the world of psychology. That's kind of, I'm not going to say new because it's been around, that phrase has been around for a long time now, but the idea of being in the moment, and it's the starting point for awareness, right? In the moment. And it's a good first step, in my opinion. Some of you out there may already know about mindfulness. It's a great exercise to do. And it's a great starting point for focusing and entering into hypnosis, where you can then take it, in my opinion, a quantum level farther and make some changes that can be then permanent, that can become second nature, if you will. So mindfulness is a good thing to practice as well. I'm going to just quickly talk about some scientific facts about the law of attraction, how it exists. The first one from a Platonic root, it has Platonic roots, far back as 391 BC, the Greek philosopher Plato. He said that likes tend towards likes. Okay, sounds like attracts like, doesn't it? So that idea has been around a long time, and it encapsulates the key message of the law of attraction. The second scientific point is from the medical journals. And I may pronounce this wrong, so forgive me. Yonsei Medical Journal, YONSEI Medical Journal. In 2007, Korean researcher Ji Young Chung, again, I hope that's right, et al. They found that there was a strong connection between positive thinking and overall life satisfaction. That's no big surprise, right? But it suggests that positive thinking exercises as a way, using them as a way to boost manifestation potential. And the authors of the medical journal, they noted, these findings offer promise of positive thinking as an approach for psychological interventions designed to promote life satisfaction. Third point in scientific research is neurology, right? The neurologists, they've found that visualization creates a better future. This may not surprise some of you. Scientists from the Wellcome Trust Center of Neuroimaging at the Institute of Neurology in London, they found that people who visualize a better future are more likely to be able to bring that future into existence. Again, attracting to them what they're focused on, what they're thinking about. And neurologists wrote that the ability to construct a hypothetical scenario in one's imagination prior to it actually occurring may afford greater accuracy in predicting its eventual outcome. So, pretty cool. Psychologists support the use of affirmations. I absolutely love affirmations. And every once in a while, one of my clients that I talk about affirmations to will say, oh, I tried affirmations once and they didn't really work. And I say, well, I know a guy that went to the gym once and it didn't work too well either. He never went back. So it's kind of like something you have to think about. And here's my definition of what an affirmation is. And I point this out to my clients. Let's say it's a smoker who comes in, and one of the things I hear him say a lot when he's sitting in my office is, I've never been able to quit smoking. It's really hard to quit smoking. I've never been able to quit smoking. It's really none of my family's been able to quit. I really became a jerk when I quit last time. So he's saying all these things, and I tell him, you know what your affirmation is? And then I'll repeat those statements back to him. Every thought that you repetitively think is your affirmation. So listen to your thoughts is my message. Listen to your thoughts. And you can train yourself again with that mindfulness idea, that being in the moment, interrupting patterns, pausing for a moment, getting focused. And I always say, if you don't feel as good as you want to feel, just if you have the luxury of a minute or so, just pause and think, what was I just thinking? And I guarantee it was something that disempowers you, something not in the realm of what you want to attract. So all you have to do then is do that reframe and say, how can I think about this in a way that kind of lightens up at the very least, and maybe even gets me to thinking, oh, maybe something better can happen. And that will start to become, the more you interrupt it, again, the neural pathways start to reroute, you'll start to actually have that be your natural way of being without having to think about it anymore very much. Although I still think about it a lot because it can always get better, right? So affirmations. One researcher at the University of Exeter has published on constructive repetitive thought. That's what an affirmation is, like I said. They found that people who consistently tell themselves that they can meet a goal are more likely to secure a positive outcome. What a surprise. Affirmations are proven to help with recovery from trauma. They improve anticipatory planning. They aid treatment for depression, and they boost physical health. So sounds like a pretty good thing to make part of your life. I'm kind of all my life been the kind of person that puts little stickers on my mirror in the bathroom. I try not to put too many anymore. I try to put one or two that are like, my general affirmation for this week or this month. What do I need to really focus on this month kind of thing. But whatever works for you, you can start to train those things in. Now we get down to the next point, which is about the mirror neurons. This is a pretty cool thing. Now, I'm not a scientist, so this is going to be oversimplified. but you can look them up, and it's a pretty cool thing. Bruce Lipton, if any of you are familiar with Bruce Lipton, the Biology of Belief, and he's, I think, got another book out now. He's a cellular biologist that has a lot of good stuff out there, and he talks about mirror neurons, and he's got some great little short videos on YouTube. So Bruce Lipton, look him up if you're interested in all the science behind all of this. It's a large part of the law of attraction. Again, the scientific side of it, the mirror neurons, because learning how to be an open, happy person who vibrates on a high frequency, there's that again, and induces a positive, they induce a positive response in others. That's what they found. The way in which we spread good attitudes toward other people and attract kindness, generosity, and success can be partly explained with reference to mirror neurons, neurons that mirror the behavior we observe. And they're even using this now with quadriplegics. The idea that they can observe, they can imagine and observe things, and it actually starts to activate things within the emotions and the body and the brain. So in other words, when someone sees you radiating positivity, this same response is mirrored in the brain of the observer. Pretty cool. So be careful who you hang around too. That's the other part of it, right? Because you can start to be around people that are toxic. That idea that we used to talk about many years ago, about someone who walks in a room and sucks out all the energy. Have you ever heard that? That's an oldie but goodie, because it's true. And you can be the opposite. You're the person that walks in the room and lights it up, and everybody feels, for some unknown reason, even if they're not directly interacting with you, people feel that vibration, and you can bring up the energy of the entire space. That's why I like hanging out with hypnotists. Because we're getting this, even on video, I'm finding, even on these classes, my energy, my vibration gets increased, just because I know I'm with people who are thinking positively. Meanwhile, studies on the amygdala, the brain's emotional center, show that we induce feelings of fear and anxiety in others if we ourselves are fearful and anxious. And I'm sure you've had this experience either with other people affecting you or with you affecting other people or your pets. They can feel all of that too, right? Pets are another one. Of course, they usually make us feel better, don't they? At least that's been my experience. Good state shifters. Pets are good state shifters, yeah, in a good way. Okay, the next point in science is geneticists. They found, and this is what I was referring to a little bit earlier, that limiting beliefs are inherited. They don't say they might be, they say they are inherited. Scientists in Atlanta have found that when mice associated the scent of cherry blossom with an electric shock, they became so sensitive to that scent that they actually passed their fear onto their offspring through their genetic code. This means that even mice that did not experience a shock ended up fearing the scent of cherry blossoms. So there you go. Something that we weren't even aware that was passed on to us, that we might have a response to something that isn't helpful or useful or healthy for us, that we can go in and we can change it because it was passed on as a response, as a conditioned response through the genes. And of course, good things can be passed on that way too. So if you're around, if somebody's pregnant, you know, you got a baby coming, it's great to know that you can be passing on positive things through the genetics, and they can experience that also. So there's increasing interest in finding new neurological evidence to support our ability to manifest what we want in life, which is what this webinar is all about, isn't it? Manifesting what you want. Keep an eye on the latest findings, biology, psychology, genetics, and neuroscience. And there's so much out there. Like I said, this is a very short little webinar, so there's not much else that I need to tell you about that. Now, if anybody has a question real quick, and then I'm going to show you a really short, quick video that I really want to show you before we run out of time that I found that makes this very succinct. Anybody got a question right now? No? Okay.
Whether you use the term law of attraction or not, the basic premise of creating a life by design still stands true. And science has proven that this is the case. Scientists are now able to explain the complexities of the human brain and body in ways they've never done before. This is because new technologies are evolving that provide revolutionary opportunities to study neuroanatomy. One of those studies involves mirror neurons. Mirror neurons are one of the most important discoveries in the last decade of neuroscience because they give us so much information regarding our social interactions and habits of learned behavior. They also explain the way in which we attract certain energies such as generosity and kindness back to ourselves. A mirror neuron is a neuron that fires both when a person acts and when a person observes the same action performed by another. These types of neurons mirror the behavior of a person being observed as though the person observing the behavior were the one enacting it. This then incites that particular behavior to occur in the person that is doing the observing. In other words, when someone observes a specific behavior that you are displaying, this same response is mirrored in that person's brain, and they will often display the same type of behavior. For instance, when you are kind, energetic, and happy, individuals around you observe those behaviors and often mirror them back to you. In the same way, if you are angry, sad, or unhappy, you may see that other people near you might begin to take on those types of behaviors. In metaphysics, this is an exchange of energy that is directly felt between individuals that are intermingling. And in science, this is due to mirror neurons. Scientifically speaking, this is the reason our high frequencies induce a positive response in others, and any low frequencies we display can induce a negative response. We can literally cause others to act positively towards us through this mechanism. Secondly, science has proven that visualization is a main component of creating our future outcomes. Brain studies now reveal that thoughts have the capacity to stimulate specific brain regions and produce the same mental instructions as actions. Brain chemistry research also proves that if you tell your brain in words what you want, it has the tendency to get bored and lazy. But if you draw it or mentally show it through imagery, it responds with a much deeper interest and attention. This act assists the brain in storing the imagery as a memory or an already accomplished fact. Most importantly, visualization has a direct impact on many of our cognitive practices, including attention, planning, perception, memory, and motor control. In other words, mental imagery increases the motivation of action, confidence in our ability to achieve a goal, beliefs of success, and positive emotional states that line up with manifesting what is wanted. Consequently, through visualization processes, the brain is literally being trained for performance and achievement. With the law of attraction, we are repeatedly told that daily vivid mental images of the things that we want to manifest helps us magnetize those things into our lives. And this has a lot to do with the fact that neurologists know that constructing an imaginative event is scientifically proven to more accurately create it as an outcome. A third line of scientific evidence that supports the law of attraction relates to intention. Science has proven that the regions of the brain that are involved with intention are also related to action. This means that when we stimulate the areas of the brain that relate to intention, we also stimulate our action centers. It's merely that our intentions need to be strong enough to incite any action that aligns with it. And those intentions can be enhanced through the visualization processes previously mentioned. Additionally, when we place our attention on a specific feeling, whether that be a physical feeling in our body or an emotional feeling, we increase it simply through our awareness and observation. By removing our attention, the feeling state subsides. These two things show that we make it possible to feel and do things by attending or intending them. Therefore, intention-based action and attention-based action support the idea of connection. The connection of as within, so without. The way we think and feel affects our actions and further feeling states, as well as what we observe as our reality. This means that the quality of our thoughts and feelings are in direct correlation with the things we experience, or in law of attraction terms, what we attract to ourselves. Our consciousness affects and directs our experiences, and science is showing us that observation invariably affects those experiences. For the universe to even exist, there must be something to observe it. Accordingly, our consciousness and the universe are fundamentally interrelated. Redirecting ourselves to a different future can be as simple as aligning our imagination, intention, attention, and behavior. And because consciousness itself affects the behavior of the physically experienced outer world, we have the opportunity for any and all types of possibilities.
Cool. Cool. So I'd like everybody to unmute now for the last few minutes that we have here. And any comments, or Jan, I know you know a lot about all this stuff.
Oh my
So if you want
gosh,
to add anything?
fabulous video. That was,
Yeah.
Your info tonight just reinforced so much for me, especially with things that I've got coming. So my intention was to really get some really cool stuff, and you gave it. Wow.
Oh, good.
Wonderful. Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff out there, and these are short little videos, and since they're free, you know, I want to introduce you to different things. Last time I think I had Michael Yapko. I did a little short video of his on one of them. I want to find some things that you can then take off with, because, you know, it's always a starting point for what we're doing. I thought I had let somebody else. What's that?
And it's all about manifesting what you want. So this was the power of the mind. Wonderful.
And it's, like I said, that it's such a simple thing that people, it sounds too easy, just your thoughts. But again, it's not thinking in a longing like I want something. It's not that, because that's a stress. It's like when I work with people with weight and diet issues, and I say, when you see someone that's the size that you want to be, what do you think? And they say, oh, I hate him, you know, or something. I say, you're pushing it away. Your mind will not go there. You know,
I want to model that. I want to be that.
Yes, exactly. Admiration, as opposed to the other word that I think I trained my brain not to even go to anymore, so I can't think of what it is. Right. There's another word like that people use when they see somebody that it's not admire, it's envy. Envy is a negative energy, and it doesn't sound like it. Oh, I envy them. They're so lucky, or they're so beautiful, or they're so rich, or whatever they are. But it's a negative for your unconscious mind. It's that vibration again. I like that idea of vibration, because we're always vibrating. And I think that's why we can sense from people without getting too close to them sometimes, like either we want to back away or we want to be drawn in. And again, Bruce Lipton's great about showing how the actual cells are responding to the vibrational energy in a magnetic, electromagnetic way that only scientists can explain much better than I can. So anybody else have something you'd like to add? Or I've got a million stories about manifesting, but it would take another hour for me to even begin to tell you some of the stuff that everybody said was impossible. And I focused on it, and I used all these principles before I ever learned them from hypnosis, and it worked. And I know you all have done it too. So anybody else have something you want to add?
I manifested this.
Huh?
I manifested the talk.
There you go. See?
There it was.
Yeah. And it keeps you in that open frame. So you're going to get what you need. You're going to get what your mind knows is right for you. Yeah. Dean, were you talking?
Yeah. Hi, how are you?
You're in the dark. I can't see you too well.
I know. Sorry. There's not much light here. Do you remember me?
I was going to say, you look real familiar.
Yeah.
Dean Newell. I know your name.
I was a client for a while.
It was a long time ago, I bet.
Yeah, it was a long time.
I was going to say, I know the name, and your voice and your face looks
But
familiar.
I really enjoyed that. It was great.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So it's been a while since we've been in touch.
Yeah, it has. Yeah.
How you doing?
I still get your emails, so I'm good.
Well, that's good. Unless you tell me to stop, you're going to keep getting them. So.
Oh, that's good. I like it.
Anybody else have a comment about the ideas we've been discussing?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do. Juan Sanchez.
Oh, Juan. Oh, God. I don't know why it wasn't clicking in who you were. You have a number where your name would normally be, so it took me a minute
Yeah.
to recognize you. Yeah.
Well, don't worry, Dr. Hypnosis.
How
That's
you
the
doing,
name.
Juan? What are
Okay.
your thoughts?
Yes, there's a lot of information there. I recommend a book or the videos on YouTube of David Hawkins. The
Hawkins.
thing that, yeah, the thing that you were talking, he put it in scales of joy and frequency, and it gives you like a chart of everything
Nice.
that you could probably do. Another guy that we probably know together, in which I like to work with, and he was my teacher, is Paul Wan. Paul Wan
Oh,
does
yeah.
Chinese. He's right now in the India, and I'm staying in contact with him. Since my name is Juan, we always call, how you doing, Juan? Here's the other one. So it's
Yeah.
just like a sort of, but I took classes with him in Chicago, and it really impressed me. My mom passed away last year, and I used some of his technique to clear all that kind of emotion in less than one day. It was great. So I really highly recommend him on his
Thank you for
book, on his theories, and everything. And I try to work together because I work in a holistic way. So that's what's going to be my presentation on IAC. I'm very glad to see you.
that.
Really.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
when is
it's
your long as this is an IAC chapter meeting too? When's your presentation at IAC?
I haven't checked it. I just saw the information.
I don't think
info.
I don't think the catalog is on the website yet. I looked earlier and it wasn't on there. But again, iact.org, IACT.org, or imdha.com. That
Yeah.
conference is phenomenal. It's going to be all virtual. And like I said, last year, one of the reasons that I found out that this is really does work. I did my medical hypnotherapy training all virtual last year, the whole thing. And I was doing pain relief demos and people were getting rid of their pain. And I said, gee, I guess you really don't have to be in the same room. We can still feel that vibration. And, the person's always doing it themselves anyway. We're just guiding them through it. And it's impressive how you still feel the energy of everybody. At least I do.
Yeah.
Patty, I'm going to say goodbye. I've got another meeting coming up.
Okay, Jan. Yeah, we're officially finished. So
this is great.
We gotta go too. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Dean.
Bye.
Nice to see you.
Hey,
You
Jan,
too.
Steve,
Bye-bye.
nice
I
meet
tend to
you.
stay around until nobody wants to hang out anymore. So I'm a junkie. Hypno and NLP junkie.
Well,
Thank you.
I found this really interesting. I'm just getting into this. I'm a firm believer in hypnosis. When I lived in Connecticut, I went to this man, that was his forte. In one session, I stopped smoking. He gave me the suggestion I would forget about smoking, no withdrawals, and that's how it worked. Every time the thought came in my head, it'd be gone. I'd forget about it. And it happened all the time until I was no longer thinking.
So you're not a trained hypnotist, is that correct?
No.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
just, very interested in it.
Well, I was studying this stuff for 20 years before I became a certified hypnotherapist, and I still thought I was only doing it for me. So you never know what lies in your future, but it's worthwhile to learn these things. And again, the NLP to me makes hypnosis a quantum level more powerful. If you can learn the neurolinguistics along, because that's the language of the unconscious. To me, it just made it so much more powerful.
So this woman that I work for works at another job, and her clinic is being supported by myself and a office manager. And for the last 2 days, I have been in touch with this office manager, and my energy has drained to the point that I haven't had back pain in years. And I came home today, I couldn't move. Now, a part of that could have been that I was sitting just for 4 hours. I haven't just sat any time for 4 hours. But I do believe now, after listening to your research that you were pulling up in your experience, that that's exactly what it was, but in the opposite direction. That I have for almost 2 years this mindfulness thing, thinking about things. You know, I've gone through The Secret, The Law of Attraction, Florence Shin,
Uh-huh.
Bruce Lipton, all of the buzzwords, Hawkins, his different books. And I guess what I want to say is it doesn't take much to get you pushed off the top of the mountain when you're feeling
Sure.
so good.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
it really struck me. It was like, oh my gosh, when you were talking, it's like, that's exactly what happened. And, you know, I bought into their negativity, and before I even knew it, and was almost to the point of incapacitation. I was on the couch. I'm in my pajamas. That's why I'm not showing you what I look like. Taking 3 acetaminophen and sitting on an ice pack. And boy, oh boy, I too like what you say. I don't use the word try anymore. I substitute it with the word strive. Now, I don't know if that's, maybe I need to come up with another word, but at least I catch myself when the t comes off the tip of the tongue. But not
Yeah,
but.
and that's what it's about, is being aware of it. And then, like I said, with hypnosis, you know, when you get into just a light state of self-hypnosis, you can ask your unconscious mind to help you to be more aware when you start those patterns.
Yes.
I know that really does work. You know, and you can, as you're going to sleep at night, I always tell people that's a great time to tell your unconscious, you know, allow me in the coming hours and days, let me be more aware when that thought comes in my mind, or when that behavior shows up, or when that emotion comes up. Let me be
Right.
more aware so I can stop and be in the moment and
Right.
do something with it. To me, that's the next step, is to do something with it. You know,
Right.
being aware and mindful is very nice. It's a great starting point. Like I said
Right.
in earlier in the seminar, it's a
Right.
starting point, and yet then it's what you do with it. That's where I love hypnosis and NLP. It's about, now you have an outcome, and you're actually going to actively generate a new behavior, a new emotion, a new neural pathway, a new automated response. And it can happen very quickly. I think the more passionate you are, and that was even in some of the scientific research, the more passionate you are, the more you really focus on it, the faster your mind will make it happen for you.
So the power of intention, all of that. I mean, I have for years been yakking about it to others. I just want to share.
Yeah.
You're the last voice I hear every night, dear, because I still play your tapes, your CD, every night.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
And
well, hopefully that's a good thing.
I love you, and I just keep up the great work, because
Thank you, Sandra.
You're such a fabulous woman. Thanks.
And this is such an exciting field, because there's always so much more to learn. Like I said, I'm a perpetual student, and I love this field because I'm always learning more. I love doing these seminars because it allows me the opportunity to research things, and there's just so much out there now. It's so easy to find supporting science behind all these things. The free ones, unless there's a blip or something, I always edit them and put them out on YouTube. So if you miss one and you see that you missed it a month or two later, just go on YouTube and look for it, search for it. You should be able to find them.
Okay, well, it's lovely. Thank you a lot.
Thank you so
Take
much.
care. Blessings
Thanks,
to all of
Take
you.
care.
Bye-bye.
Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. And I'll be looking you up on YouTube and your
Okay.
website.